So with this being the post backlash episode of Raw, tonight I mainly want to go over two main key figures that we got sort of announced here on Monday Night Raw, because overall this show, I would say it wasn't like the best Raw that I've seen in a few months. It definitely wasn't the worst Raw I've seen, but definitely I guess the energy level was a little down. There may have been a lack of excitement on this show, but regardless, there are two things here that I feel that are worth talking about, and as far as continuing sort of the storylines. So as we go into it, we're going to start off with CM Punk. CM Punk kicked off Monday Night Raw here essentially to address what has gone down the last few weeks ever since he's been gone past WrestleMania, because if you remember, on that episode of Raw after WrestleMania, he was curb stomped and speared by Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker. So he's been nursing sort of injuries ever since then. And he came out here to address the elephant in the room, that being his sort of, betrayal by Paul Heyman onto CM Punk. He said that he is like super pissed off at one person and one person only, that being himself. He said that he could have seen this coming from a mile away, but he chose to let bygones be bygones. He mentioned the fact that this isn't the first time Heyman has attacked CM Punk, has betrayed CM Punk. Back in 2013, he betrayed him in the Money in the Bank ladder match. Out comes Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins makes the case as to why CM Punk is selfish, and he sends Braun Breaker out there to take advantage of him. Eventually, this brings out Seth Rollins to come down and deal with CM Punk. Then Sami Zayn comes out here, and then after a while, Jay Uso comes out here to help in the numbers game. And the visual you see is Jay Uso, Sami Zayn, CM Punk standing tall in the middle of the ring, with Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker in the entrance ramp sort of scurrying away. Now, the biggest takeaway that I got here from the opening segment was, where is the third man? I said, if they're going to run sort of 3 against 2, there has to be another man. There has to be a third man. Now, eventually, we did get the announcement later on in the show that CM Punk and Sami Zayn are going to be teaming up against Seth Rollins and Braun Breaker at Saturday night's main event. And they had sort of a backstage promo, Sami and Seth Rollins, sort of going back and forth as far as like CM Punk, he doesn't trust a lot of people nowadays considering what's happened with Heyman. Sami says that, it was hard for me to trust you at War Games, but we did it and it came out well. And a lot of people now were kind of talking about, maybe Sami's the guy that goes heel. Maybe Sami turns heel on CM Punk, and maybe he is the third man. I don't really think that's going to happen. I think Sami Zayn, yeah, he could turn heel, but I don't think it's really necessary for him to turn heel, and especially for him to turn heel with Seth Rollins. Like, I don't think it really fits the character of Sami Zayn. I think maybe eventually you could turn him heel, but especially nowadays, you have so many heels, you have so many people turning heel left, right, and center. I feel like another heel would kind of be a little bit too much. But regardless, we are going to get this match at Saturday night's main event. Another thing that I was super, interested in was Jay Uso and Gunther had a segment here where essentially Gunther told Jay Uso that, the winner of Logan Paul and Jay Uso, that's going to take place at Saturday night's main event, will challenge Gunther on the June 9th episode of Monday Night Raw. This being the episode following Money in the Bank. So obviously, that Jay Uso is going to beat Logan Paul at Saturday night's main event. So essentially, what we have here is a confirmed, an unofficial but official match confirmed here. Jay Uso against Gunther for the World Heavyweight Championship. I can tell you one thing for sure. Gunther is not walking out the World Heavyweight Champion. I was kind of wondering, following the Backlash event, where Gunther was going to go as far as the program that he's going to continue on forward. And it turns out he's going to be here against Jey Uso. Now, there's two possibilities that could happen here, because I don't think that, number one, I don't think Gunther is going to win the World Heavyweight Championship, but I don't think he's going to lose cleanly to Jey Uso. So I think you can do one of two things. This is taking place following the Money in the Bank event, so they could tease in whoever wins the Money in the Bank briefcase. They could have them tease a cash in here, and then maybe that ends the match in a no contest, and that's how we go forward. Or maybe, and I think this is the more likely option, we're going to get the return of Goldberg, because Goldberg, he has hinted that he's going to have his retirement match sometime in the summer. That leaves either one of two options, either SummerSlam or Saudi, because obviously Goldberg, he wants that major payday, Saudi Arabia. And following this event, following June 9th, I think the next event is the Saudi event, the King and Queen of the Ring, or the Night of Champions, whatever it may be. That's the next event following this episode of Raw. So it leads you to believe whether or not we'll see Goldberg on that episode of Raw, costing Gunther the World Heavyweight Championship. We also had Penta against Chad Gable. He got a win over Chad Gable, and really what I got down, I said, Chad Gable really can't seem to catch a win, although Americano can obviously catch a win. So maybe that's the sort of key element as to what Chad Gable should be doing, is just dress up as Americano and then you'll get the win. We also saw Penta later on in the AJ Styles Finn Balor match, as he aided AJ Styles in taking out the Judgment Day. Styles got a win over Finn Balor, or as many like to call him nowadays, Pin Balor. Again, there's still tensions between Finn Balor and Dominic Mysterio. We got a very good Becky Lynch promo where she essentially called out everybody last year that was super against her becoming the women's champion, the whole Becky Hogan stigma, all that sort of stuff. And I really enjoyed this promo. I am kind of wondering where Lyra was here tonight. We didn't see Lyra at all, which kind of lends me to believe she may be somewhat injured. I don't know. But regardless, like I said on Backlash, this isn't going to be the last time you see Becky and Lyra. I do probably predict you'll see this at Saturday night's main event, if not Money in the Bank. But regardless, we'll see this match one more time. And lastly, we got the main event women's tag team match between Julia Roxanne Perez against Rhea Ripley and Io Sky to end the night off. I thought this was a good match. I thought this was a solid main event match. Nothing super mind-blowing. At the end of the match, they end the match with Rhea Ripley and Io Sky standing tall. And Rhea Ripley, there's a moment here where she's staring at the title as Io Sky is sort of raising her hands up with Rhea Ripley. So you're led to believe that Rhea Ripley will be challenging once again for the women's championship. I don't know when this is going to take place as well. I've heard rumors of this taking place at the Evolution PLE that they have lined up sometime in July. This could take place at Saturday night's main event. I'm not entirely sure where this is going, but as far as the match goes, I want Io still to be women's champion. I think the amount of work that she's done lately, she's like an MVP, right? I don't want to see her lose this quickly. I feel like Rhea, she could, spend some time not in the women's title picture. I feel like something like that could do her well. If you're going to have this match, I would put my money and I would want to have Io Sky retain her women's championship. But overall, that was mostly everything of Monday Night Raw that was of note. Again, like I said, a kind of in the middle show here tonight. Not a bad show, not a great show, someone in the middle. But let me know what you guys think down below. Let me know your thoughts and your reactions to everything that we saw here tonight on Monday Night Raw. And until next time, I will see all of you on the next one.